Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. My name is Leon Thomas, your host for Real Thoughts and Conversations. Each Wednesday, we're here at 7 o'clock right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. But today we're only going on YouTube Live only because this is a special pop-up show of Real Thoughts and Conversation. During this show, we talk about things that are sometimes controversial, but sometimes things that folks really need to hear. And that's what we talk about on Real Thoughts and Conversation. Let's talk about it. Again, my name is Leon Thomas. Welcome to Real Thoughts and Conversation. If you have something you think would be a great topic of discussion and you'd like us to talk about it here on Real Thoughts and Conversation, it's real simple to do. All you do is send an email to Real Thoughts and Conversations. You can let us know what that topic is, or let us know you'd like to be a panelist on the show. If you'd like to learn more about me and the services that my company does, go to leonthetrainer.net. We're going to have a great conversation today with a hotel industry professional, Christina Turley with As One Management. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Right on. It's great to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Listen, I love that background. That is like rocking groovy. Look at that.
So this is actually my home office. I'm working in my dining room right now.
Uh-huh.
So I am a very artsy person. So my house kind of reflects my personality.
Okay. So before we go any further, I don't have that artsy personality. Right? I can stand on a stage in front of 10, 15,000 people and, try to make them laugh. But when it comes to artsy stuff, I mean, take a look back here. Okay, this is my boring studio office.
Are you saying here. I need to get you some art there?
Oh, I need some help. There's no doubt about it. What I'll do, I'll take pictures of everything that's around me, and after you finish laughing and crying, then you can say, all right, let me help this guy out, right? But I really like that. It's good, really cool to have you with us today. Thank you for your time. So we're going to talk about a whole lot of hotel related things, but I think it's important for our viewers and listeners to understand when we say management company, what that really means. So can you give, take 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, to describe what that means when we say you work for a management company? And you are a regional director of operations too, folks. So she's just not anybody in the company. She's a regional director of operations. So go ahead and explain what that third party, what does that mean?
So in my eyes, a management company is actually a support company. In order to be successful as a hotel, you need different layers. So you have your on-site folks, your GMs, your housekeeping, your management team there that helps the day-to-day operations. But there's a lot of things that go on in hotels that is a little bit behind the scenes. Who handles those liabilities, who takes care of your taxes, who puts together the investor statements, because there's investors behind your hotels. So you have another layer of folks such as a management company like myself who come in and just help with those different things. Now, in my role, I help with various different things. So I look at revenues and I look for opportunities that may be missed for the property because the GM is pretty stretched and looking at different things going on every day. The other side of it is I look at scores and I look and analyze what could we be doing differently? What could we be more creative about? Because when you're in it day to day on the ground, sometimes you get a little bit of tunnel vision. You see what you see every day, but you don't see maybe from guest eyes. So I come in a lot of times with guest eyes and I look at what we could be doing differently there. So like I said, I view my role as a support role for my properties and making sure that they have the support that they need, the resources that they need, and all of the things that they need above property that they don't have the time to work on, like those liabilities and things of that nature. And, we have a whole team. We have a procurement manager who takes care of purchasing all of the things that the property needs so that the GM's not searching on wayfair.com for something. And then we have a legal team to make sure that if there's a legal issue or something of that nature, that they're reached out to and they're helping guide our hotels through any type of legal issues. So that's a little bit of what management companies do. We're more of that support.
Mhm. So you're not like the Hilton or the Choice or the Marriott. You're not that big name that's on there, but someone owns the hotel and you're kind of running it for them, and it's providing the support. As you mentioned, you don't want the manager on Wayfair trying to find a chair, right?
No, I mean, and I think what people don't often realize is that all those Hilton, those Radissons, those IHGs, those Marriotts, they're not typically corporate owned by the flag that's representing them. The majority of hotels are actually small businesses owned by independent owners and management companies.
Hmm. And that I've worked, you know me, we've known each other a while. I worked in hotels for 30, 35 years. And a lot of folks just don't understand that just
Yeah.
because it says Hilton or Comfort or whatever that is, it's not owned by
Nope.
Mr. Comfort Inn or Mr. Country Inn, right? That's
No.
not who owns the place. And it's probably someone a lot of times in the community
Yes.
that owns that hotel. And so when they always, you see the marketing about this small business Saturday, everybody thinks, go to the hip area of town and walk into the
Yes.
to the old jewelry store and buy an old ring, and you're supporting the local economy. You're doing the same thing when you stay at a local hotel, when you recommend a family member stays at a local hotel. So
I can't tell you how many times I've made a comment about our industry and our hotels being small business and people going, "You're a small business?" Yeah, we absolutely are.
yeah. And so one of the things that I thought would be good for us to talk about when you look at the news and everyone's talking about the recovery from COVID and how things are going and how businesses are making it, we see a lot of stories about restaurants, the food service, the delivery, restaurant. And I'm always like, well, what about hotels? What about hotels?
I share your sentiment 100%. Through the entire COVID thing, you were constantly hearing restaurants. And I absolutely empathize and sympathize with the restaurants. 2 of my hotels of my 6 hotel portfolio have restaurants in them. But I think what people fail to forget or fail to remember is that with a hotel, when we shut down because of COVID, we can't send you a bed to borrow for the night. We can't lend you a lamp. With the restaurants, they were still able to at least do takeout service. So for a good chunk of my portfolio, we had hotels closed for upwards of 3 months. That means absolutely zero opportunity for revenues. But on the other side of that, we still had to pay our taxes. Our mortgage company still wanted to be paid. We have employees that we did have to keep on staff because of security reasons. You can't just lock up the building and walk away.
Yeah.
So I do share your sentiment, and, in the fact that, hotels didn't get quite the same coverage, but I also understand that this was a national crisis and everybody was trying to adjust. So I'm not unsympathetic to their plight, but I definitely think that hotels absolutely felt it just as strong. And with so many hotels being small business, you saw many hotels that just couldn't make it through to the other side. And it's just very sad to watch.
Mhm. And I've heard other friends in the business tell me that in their markets, hotels have closed, hotels have completely shut down, banks have taken them over. And when that happens, there's a downward cycle where it starts to affect your employees. Number one, their families, not only financially, but the stress that goes along with it. Where's my next check coming from? What am I going to do? And I just think that sometimes our business, and I'll say our business because I'm still a hotel guy, gets lost. They just forget about us, And then there's the stories that talk about, all the other things. Like, I checked into the hotel, and then there's always, everybody's a diamond member, everybody's a platinum member, and all that. And we're not taking good care of them. And in the business, as long as I was, most people in our business will want to do the right thing.
Yes.
We're not standing at the front desk just waiting to say, that guy walking in right now. Yep. I'm just made up my mind. I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be nasty. It just doesn't happen.
Totally sounds like the hospitality industry.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? We just stand there and just wait to do it. So now tell us this. You said that you have a portfolio of hotels. Tell us where your hotels are.
So we're in the South Central Pennsylvania region. I have 3 properties in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I have a Holiday Inn Express that we built from the ground up that is a Formula Blue property, very, very beautiful. We have our flagship hotel, which was the first property our company bought back in 2009, which is a Hilton Garden Inn. It's a gorgeous property as well. We also bought a Country Inn and Suites that we renovated and actually won a renovation award on. So I'm super proud of that for that property. So those are my Gettysburg locations. We have 2 in Harrisburg that are beautiful properties as well. I mean, I just have a lovely portfolio, so I'm very proud of them. A Radisson by Country Inn and Suites and a Holiday Inn Express, both Harrisburg West. And then my last property that we actually opened in 2018 as another ground up build was the Hotel Rock Lidditz, which is in Lancaster County.
Mm-hmm. Great. Now you have six hotels that are under your umbrella.
Yes.
But here's something that I think is important for everyone to understand. And we'll get into house business and employees and all. We'll get into that.
Sure.
But the other thing that I think is so important for folks to understand is that when you hear people say that the hotel business, the hospitality business is one that you can go in as a line level employee or an entry level employee and make your way up.
Yes.
Both of us are examples of that, right? My first job, I worked as a van driver. Okay. Now, I think I actually made more as a van driver than I did as a GM because of the tips, but don't tell anybody that. I mean,
I empathize with that.
I think I did it all legally. I claim the tip. Okay. Anyway, so here's the thing, but I started out there. And there were people that I talked to, managers that I talked to, and I said, look, I'd like to do more. Can you show me more? And I never had anyone tell me, no, I'm not going to show you, or you're just a van driver. You don't need to know that, and nothing like that never happened. And I made my way all the way up to the point that at one point I was working for a major hotel company in their leadership and training department.
Yes.
Right. That happens. Tell us about your journey, because I know you have something that's very similar, and I think it's important for folks to hear.
Sure, absolutely. So I fell in the hospitality. It wasn't actually a career path that I had originally planned on. I started out as a breakfast bar attendant, and I was very, very chatty, as you can probably sense from this. And my general manager came up to me and said, hey, we need some help in housekeeping. Would you be willing to stay a little bit longer after you're doing breakfast and just do some housekeeping? And I said, absolutely. Wherever you need me is where you put me. And that's really been my philosophy through my entire career. Wherever you need me, that's where you put me. So I did breakfast in the morning. I come in at 5:30 in the morning sometimes to do breakfast. I would stay and do that till noon. Then I would clean rooms until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Over time, I eventually got asked to step into the front desk, which I did that for many, many years, was a front office manager, eventually a sales coordinator, director of sales. I was a GM for 5 years, and now I'm in this regional role. So I've done it all.
Mm-hmm. You've done it all. And I've heard a lot of people say that the best regionals and the best GMs and the best VPs and whatever other level there is are those that started at the ground floor, because all the other things that go on with it. Now, you mentioned it wasn't your identified career path. It wasn't for me either. I'm supposed to be coaching basketball at UCLA right now.
I'm supposed to be a graphic designer.
Well, looky there. But and I didn't win enough games at the high school level. I think you got to win more than like 3 games in 4 years to move on, right? And it didn't work out for me. But I was working part-time, and it gradually turned into something. So, folks, if you don't think that's real, it is. You can contact me, contact Christina. We'll tell you this is real, it's legit, and it's a really cool industry to be in. So Christina, when the hotels started opening back up, folks started traveling again, right? And they're traveling now. How is business in your hotels? How's business in the market that your hotels are in? How are y'all doing?
Oh, that's an interesting question, because I have hotels that cover different markets. So I'm seeing different types of rebounds, to be completely honest with you. So when we opened up the hotels, we did see a little bit of pent up travelers who wanted to just get out. Not a whole lot of corporate folks. As we moved closer to the start of 2021, we did see a lot of folks starting to travel again. Mostly your leisure travelers, which are using heavy OTA sites. So we, as a hotelier, we know that that's probably one of the more costly ways to get guests.
Now, can you tell the folks what OTA site is? Explain
Oh,
what
sure,
that is.
absolutely. So that's your online travel agents. So when you're thinking your Expedias, your Booking.coms, Priceline, it's all of those guys where a leisure guest would potentially go to look for the best deal. But we all know that's brand.com.
That's right. Let's stop right there for a second to say that. You're going to get the best deal at the brand. So if it's Holiday Inn, it's holidayinn.com. If it's
100%.
Hilton, it's hilton.com. You didn't say it. I'm saying it. So everybody's clean. Stay away from those Mr. Trivago and everybody else. Stay away from. I hate William Shatner. All right. I hate him. Okay. They're taking money out of the pocket. So, but anyway, go ahead. You were talking about the rebound. Go ahead.
So we're seeing a lot of that. In my Gettysburg market, we saw the rebound a little bit faster. And I think partly was because that's an outdoor activity area. So those who were still leery of COVID and wanting to make sure that they're traveling safely had a place that they go where they didn't necessarily were confined to indoor places. And there's still a lot of restrictions at that point where people couldn't go into certain museums or eat in certain restaurants or things of that nature. So outdoor destinations, I think, definitely saw that rebound a little bit faster. My Harrisburg market actually is rebounding a little bit slower. And that's because of the type of traveler that really comes into Harrisburg. It's a more corporate market. You're getting a lot of the government segment, which the government had a lot of restrictions through the middle part of this year for their traveling. So we are seeing a slower rebound there. And then in Lancaster, that hotel I have is a little bit unique. It works with a very different clientele with the music industry. So that was very, very, very slow to recover. But we are seeing a great deal of travelers for leisure in that market because Lancaster County is also a tourist destination. And again, we're seeing a flop there where that hotel used to see maybe 10% in OTAs as a source of business, and now they're at like 80%. So it's a big flop for us.
Okay, right on. And you think about the recovery, and some hotels are doing well, some aren't. How's staffing levels? How's that? How are y'all managing that? How's that going? And how are you dealing with all that? Because it's not easy running a hotel period when things are good. It's not an easy thing to do. And it's someone in your position where you need to make sure that 6 hotels are performing well, right? Tell me how's it going? How do you manage it?
I'm still looking for a magic wand.
Okay.
I that completely. So it's been a little bit of a hit and miss here. So obviously with the federal, there you go. Obviously with the federal benefits out there, it's been very difficult to find people who are willing to want to work and to work hard. And our industry is a little bit challenging. I mean, we're asking people to go into guest rooms and clean behind guests. So we did a lot of things that tried to mitigate and keep our team safe, not going in a room for 3 days so that if there was anything in the room, it had a chance to die. We're making sure our team has a proper PP and E stuff. But on the other side, looking at staffing, we really tried to look around at unique ways to gather staff. So I looked at colleges and said, hey, you got a lot of kids who are doing remote learning right now. Do you have anybody who's looking for a job to offset? We have the Indeed site, of course, that's the big monster, right? But of course, so many people are looking for jobs right now. One of the things that I have found to be successful is I pull my jobs every 2 days and then I repost them. So I try to keep them at the top of the list. I have found that even if you pay a sponsored job, I'm sure Indeed is not going to love me for this statement, but even if you pay for a sponsored job, right, I have found that often I find more success if I pull the job down and repost it even as a free listing because it cycles to the top as a new job. And then I'm also using social media. Social media is a great way to reach out and share jobs. I'm also looking at minors. Some of my hotels do not have a liquor license, so there's no reason that I couldn't hire a minor. Minor could be used for your front desk. A minor can be used for housekeeping. So, looking at different folks who necessarily you would not have considered before is a creative way to try to staff your properties. And, right now I am absolutely open to being as creative as I need to. Now, just like many organizations, we look at our benefits, and I'm super proud of our company. We really do a nice benefits package for our employees, both full and part-time people. But what I am finding, and even an article I read in CoStar.com the other day, is that you can offer the nicest benefits right now, but until the federal benefits go away, you're still going to have challenges attracting the hourly folks. So it's really about making sure your team is happy. Retention of your current team, I think, is absolutely critical. So you see all these sign-on bonuses. Focus on your current teams. Take care of those folks. Make sure that they're happy.
One of the things that I remember from my sales days, and you probably have heard something very similar, is we always look for that new piece of business, right? The salesperson is always going out looking for something new. Give me the new business, that new account. And when we need to spend time also focusing on the business we have to make sure we don't lose them. And what I used to see was we had to bring in that new $50,000 account, and two $25,000 accounts would walk out and business not increase. So I was reminded of that when you say we want to take care of the employees that we have.
Yeah.
Right. That's an important piece, right? We just can't ignore them and, we're so bad, it's hard to find people, da 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 da. You're doing things that are different to try to bring people in. But also something else I want to talk about too. For those folks that are with you still, those general managers and others that have been with you, that have gone through the struggles with you, you have to put some things in place to make it easier for them to do their jobs. And you were telling me about a tool that you guys have that you've utilized. Go ahead and tell us some about that.
So one of the things that my management company really believes in is investing in technology. So we spend a lot of time, trying to predict. I mean, we're an industry of predicting, right? We were predicting that we were going to face, challenges with staffing, and we didn't want to burn out our team. So we looked at various different platforms to make lives easier for our general managers, specifically because they wear the most hats in our hotels. And we came across a platform called XQuick, and I use it in two different ways pretty heavily. One is I have 6 properties. They use all different kinds of PMS or property management systems for various reports. If I ask my GMs every single day, send me this report, send me that report, analyze this for me, I'm going to burn them out when they're trying to do housekeeping, front desk, night audit, all these different things. So we actually have all of our reports automatically upload into this software, and I can see every morning what's going on in my hotels. Did we collect all of our credit card payments? Is our trial balance balancing out? What's our revenues look like? What's our occupancy look like? And I can source issues before my GMs even call me. On the other side of it, we use it for those OTAs. So as I was making comments before, we're seeing such a high volume of the leisure traveler, and those OTA sites, I mean, sometimes they take 18% commission off the top there for you. And then you still have to pay your franchise fees and all these other things on top of that. So, as a former GM, I know it takes a really long time to check commission statements. So with this platform, you can literally download your commission statement out of the OTA site, upload it into XQuick, right? And then it takes that data and analyzes it for you in 10 seconds, right? As a GM, that is a amazing savings to your time.
Yeah.
Across my 6 hotels last month, that site identified over $1,600 in commissions we would have paid out had my GMs not carefully and meticulously checked every single reservation that came in. In some hotels, that could be 700 bookings for the month. So we use that, and I absolutely love the software. It's just absolutely amazing.
Wow. I'm going to put that up again. It's xquick.com. And this is not an ad for XQuick.
No.
We're talking about tools that allow managers to spend less time doing mundane things that we used to do, right? We're talking about tools to make a manager's life easier. That's why we're talking about them. I just learned about them 25 minutes ago. Okay. Confirm this, Christina. Is that right?
That is 100% true.
You filled me in on them. So this is not an ad for them. I'm not getting any money from them yet, although I wouldn't mind them being a sponsor. But I'm just saying
not a sponsor.
that wasn't the purpose, right? That's not the purpose. We're letting everybody know because it's making folks' lives easier with the struggles and everything that folks are going through. So that's why we mentioned them. But here's the other thing. I got to give you and your company credit that you just didn't sit there and say, "Oh, I know it's tough and you're going to make it," and and all of those things, you guys put something in place to make it easier. And that investment, has to mean something, that your managers see that you're doing things. What's their feedback been on that tool?
Ironically, so every Monday we do a GM call with all of our GMs, the owner of our company, and myself. And the general manager of the Hilton Garden Inn actually got up when we were talking in the morning. She's like, I just want to take a moment and say how amazing this platform is. She goes, I was dragging my feet when you guys said, let's do this. And then I did it. And she goes, I am so excited to do next month's balancing and reconciliation of commissions. She goes, this was amazing. So the feedback from even those who are doing it on a day-to-day down in our hotels was really, really positive.
Great. That is great to hear. Again, I hear so many times, it's so hard and our GMs are doing this. And I'm just wondering, why don't you do something? There has to be something creative that you can do. Or even if you didn't do this, maybe just say, you know what, I really don't need that report every day. Maybe I can have it once a week, or something, instead of just we do business because that's the way we do it. Why do I need that report? Well, it's just what we do. So I'm so glad to hear you're doing things differently. And the way that you talked about how you're trying to find staff and the safety measures that you put in place for your existing teams, that you can't go in that room right away. I think that's something that the public just doesn't understand or doesn't get, that the importance of that and things like that go on, that make it easier and safer for everyone. And there's one other theme I want to go back to just in the last couple of minutes. We talked about the idea of hotels being small business,
Yes.
right? So let's do some quick math here. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Quick math, and can we have xquick.com help us with this? So now let's do some real math now, based on $100 selling price. All right. So I know we never sell it $100, but let's use it anyway, right? It's 99 or 104 or whoever came up with that. Never ended
0.99.
Yeah. Hey, where did that stuff come from? So all right. I want everyone to understand what happens with the money that you spend on a hotel room. So you go to Expedia. I buy a room on Expedia for $100. They're taking a commission from you, right? 18% or whatever that number is. So now we're down to $82. Plus you're going to pay a royalty, franchise fee, or whatever to the brand, right? And so now that leaves the owner with $74, $75, something like that, right? Of which you're going to pay all of your bills, pay your employees and all those things.
Your credit card fees.
All of that, right?
Yeah.
Folks, do the local owner a favor. Go to the brand and buy the room.
I agree.
Now, when you go to the brand to buy the room, that 18%, that all goes into the owner. And these owners want to invest in their hotels. They want to invest in their people. They want to be able to hire. They need people. They use that money for that. So I'm just asking you, help. So folks want to know, what can I do to help? Yeah, you can do that. That's
one of our biggest P&L lines is labor. So I agree with you. Help us out there.
Simple thing. So you can do that. And so the last thing, let's talk about this. So the concept, right, of travel and coming back to hotels and things coming back to normal and so forth. You mentioned that because Harrisburg, one of your markets, is a heavily government area, and Gettysburg is more leisure. What are your thoughts on, as we get into that fall season, that sometimes every market does well because of corporate travel, people coming to watch the leaves change colors? And I say it that way because I always screw up the word. Is it foliage or foliage or what? I always screw it up. So that's why I just say watching the leaves change colors. But what do you think? What's the prognostication for the next 3 months or so? What are you thinking?
So honestly, after looking at what happened here in Q2, I do think that the outlook for Q3 actually looks pretty darn good. My biggest concern obviously remains around staffing and being able to keep up with the demands that are out there. Most brands have started moving back to having the full breakfast in place, which has been definitely a sore spot for those who are traveling. But I do feel really good looking into Q3 and how we see the patterns of people starting to travel. Corporate is starting to pick up again. Leisure is definitely out and about. Tour groups are starting to rebook, which is really great to see, especially with watching some of those have also struggled through this whole thing. So I really feel very good. The music industry, which is definitely impacting one of my hotels pretty darn heavily, has really started to open back up again, which is just all signs show positive to me. So I feel really good about the outlook.
That is great to hear. Now, if someone wants to find out about job openings in your company,
sure.
How do they do it? Where do they go?
So you can go to our website. It is asonemanagement.com. We do have links there for our jobs, or you can email me with your resume and tell me what you're interested in. I'm happy to take a look at it. I also help manage all of the HR for our company as well.
And what's that website again?
Asone, ASONE, management, MANAGEMENT.com. And you can just go straight there, and we have a link for all of our careers.
As One Management, just as we see right there on the screen, asonemanagement.com. Folks, I've known Christina for quite a while. Good people right here. Good people.
Thank you.
You're looking for a career change or a job in hotels. You want to be associated with Christina. Good people. And I cannot imagine. I don't know your owners. I don't know anybody else in your company. I know you, and I know that you would not lead people the wrong way. And I know that they made a good hire by bringing you in. So folks, my endorsement, I'm telling you, good people, if you're looking for a job, this is where you want to go. So thank you, Christina. I'm glad we got a chance to spend some time together. It's great having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Folks, my name is Leon Thomas. You just watched another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversation. Our guest today was Christina Turley, Regional Director of Operations with As One Management. If you'd like to be a panelist or a guest on our show, send me an email. Send it to realthoughtsandconversation@gmail.com. Or if you have an idea for a show, we're interested in hearing that as well. To learn more about me and our company, Leon Thomas and Associates, go to leonthetrainer.net. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. Let's talk about it.